Welcome to the Academy Answers podcast. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in. And we always get started this way. We play our creed, something we live by. And that is, we don't worry, we work. We don't doubt, we believe. We don't make excuses, we hustle. We don't talk about it, we are about it. We don't follow, we lead. We don't do it to have, we do it to become. We're not victims, we take responsibility. We're not suckers, we earn our spot. We're not a statistics, we stand for something. We are not the clay, we are the potters. We design our own lives. Let's jump into the podcast, guys. Hope it can bring you some value today. Let's go. Hi, my friends. How are you doing? Welcome to the Academy Answers podcast, where we answer the question from our blog, from our Facebook, or social media, all the social media, from my email list. I have been doing personal development work for over 4 years now. I've been doing it all my life. But before I knew that what I was doing was personal development, just helping people, giving people advice, that sort of thing, since I was in maybe high school. High school. And then now I started this blog when I had to save my own life, when somebody handed me a book and I saved my life with that book. And since then I've read over 300 books, and I kid you not, and I've drastically pulled myself from anxiety, from depression. Before I even knew of anxiety and depression, I grew up in a third world country. I grew up in Jamaica. I grew up in a rural third world Jamaica, so we're not on these, to us those are fancy terms. We know that we're either sad, and then we know we woke up in the morning shaking and fearful, started to spiral into negative thinking, started to get involved in things that we're not so proud of. And then as we go on and we start to read and we start to expose ourselves more, we start to travel, and we start to read autobiographies and listen to other people, and you realize that, wow, I was in depression, I was going through anxiety, I was stressed out, I was having chronic maybe really tough symptoms, or really heavy stress and heavy depression, like many of these people are talking about. But we never knew that. We just thought that, look, we're going through a tough time and we're not handling it well. So I started this blog, and this blog kind of triggered a lot of questions. And then I figured that while I answer these people individually, I also could do another medium that could impact other lives who have similar or the same problems. So this person messaged me and she said, I want to be rich. Don't give me the regular run-of-the-mill stuff that everybody tell me about, how many sources of incomes to have and all that stuff to do. And it's a topic that I love. I love the topic of money, because a lot of people are insecure about talking, insecure when it comes on to talking about money. So they don't. And they skirt around it, and they make, they kind of, tippy-toe around it, and they don't want to say, I want a lot of money. They say, oh, I want to be comfortable. Of course, in this day and age, there's no such thing as comfortable. You're either growing or you are dying. You either go forward or you go backward. You're rich or you're poor, or you of means that is vulnerable and can head to poor in a second. That's how this world is. Anything can just spiral, and then just some turn of events can just make you at the bottom in no time. If every dollar you earn, or the dollars you earn to sustain your life, are based on the time that you have to put in, then you are extremely vulnerable. Because if you are sick for 2, 3, 6 months, which is common, people get sick, or if something happening in your industry and they take away your license, you have to start all over again, or anything like that, then that's it for you. You're whacked. So that is really a vulnerable position to be in. So we think of growth, getting in more than enough. What you think is enough, what you think is comfortable, getting just 10x that. So that's what we talk about. We talk about a lot of money, a lot of abundance, because That's how you'll be able to impact. That's how you'll be able to help your family. That's how you'll be able to help yourself. That's how you'll be able to keep yourself at a certain standard of living, and not having to worry about it. Not going to your bed thinking about bills, waking up in the morning thinking about small stuff, stifling your creativity with everyday matters that is, not really important stuff. A bill have to be paid, a bill have to be paid. We know that this is a bill. We signed up for the bill. That should be paid without you having to stress whether it will be paid next month and the other month and all that stuff. I really believe in the abundant lifestyle, in abundant living, not extravagance, abundance. So that's what I believe in. So, well, she's trying to get rid of, and many people are trying to get rid of the run-of-the-mill stuff. Well, there's no getting rid of the fundamental principles. Like, you have to master something, you have to be skilled at something, and the amount, the value or the level of your wealth will be in direct proportion to the amount of people or the number of people you can serve. You have the chance to access and serve. So if you are going to get 10 from a product, unless you can reach 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, you can reach more audience at scale, then the amount of revenue you will be able to get will be limited. That's run-of-the-mill stuff. I'll tell you straight up, go read some books, get the information. And there's more to be learned from beyond 25 years of history than there is to be learned from this new type of political culture that is spewing all type of nonsense, because there's social media and you can reach people quickly and you can use psychological hacks and tricks and trigger the desires of people. Those sales tricks that these guys tell you, 10,000 a month, press this button and a 6-figure blueprint and all that stuff. Don't follow that stuff. Go read Think and Grow Rich. Go read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Go read Richest Man in Babylon. Buy those books, get them, read The Power of Positive Thinking. Get a couple of these books, read them, study them, make them study texts, go over them every now and then, read The Law of Attraction. Have them in your catalog. We have furniture, we have gadgets, we have all these things, but we don't have tools and resources that's going to help us to be a better person. We don't have a library of any sort. We don't have a Kindle with books on it. We don't have a physical library in our homes or a bookshelf. We need that. You need that if you're going to get rich. That's one thing. But my big angle, my big spin, since you don't want it run of the mill, I'll adhere to what you request, is that if you want to be rich, you have to get rid of the things that's making you poor. If you want to be rich, you have to get rid of the things that's making you poor. And that is the angle I'll come from. So you will find that most of us who are poor are involved in poor things, poor thinking, poor friendships, poor habits, poor activities, poor skills, poor mentality, poor attitude. You must get rid of the poor mindset, the poor habits. TV, social media browsing, hanging out, the sleeping 10 hours, the poor eating habits have to go. How much time are you spending off the job working on what you're going to use to make you rich? So you have to decide on a vehicle and you have to spend time in that vehicle that's going to take you to your riches. So what is it that you are going to use to get rich? And then you have to spend your time pouring what Stephen Covey in his book called 10,000 hours. You have to spend your 10,000 hours in your craft. Focused, disciplined work. What we do most times is that we're involved in an activity that we're flirting with. We don't spend enough time, maybe because we don't have the belief systems or the discipline to spend enough time to immerse ourselves so much into it so that we can tap our highest and truest potential and creativity. I'll say that again. We flirt with the thing that we want to use to make us rich. So we end up not spending enough time because of maybe lack of belief or discipline, or some form of distraction taking over our world. So we don't get to tap into the highest level of potential and creativity. Unless you spend enough time around the thing, you will not access the level of potential and creativity that's in you. You must spend the time. So get rid of the poor things that you're doing and start to do rich things. Rich people read. Rich people invest. Rich people run businesses. Rich people have a positive mental attitude. Rich